Why is my actually kind of hurt? Testing. Can you guys hear me? One, two. How does it sound? Three. How is it going? Four. What's up? Five. I don't know. What up? What's up? What's up? How's it going, guys? As you can see, okay, let me confess something. Why am I doing this stream? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, guys? Why am I doing this stream right now? Well, one, I said that I was going to be streaming more. So here is me streaming more. And two, I wanted to test out EV Mux. Okay. So this is a test run, which is why you see that ugly label there, because I'm not paying for it. So I'm going to test out different streaming devices and different streaming browsers and methods and see which one I like more. And if I like this or something else, then I'll invest in that. So right now I'm testing it out, which is why you see that ugly watermark there. How long are you streaming? I have no idea. This is a random ass stream that is happening right now, and I'm testing out certain things. So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Maybe 50 minutes to an hour. We'll see. It could be anywhere from 20 minutes. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 40 minutes. It could be an hour. It could be an hour and a half. We'll see. I have not decided yet. Well, what's up, guys? What's up? Well, let me try something out real quick. So when you guys send in super chats, I will see how this works. If I do this, wait, let me do this. Yeah, it's definitely a filler season size volume due to the story not progressing. Ooh, look at that. It came up on the screen. Nick H, what's up? So yeah, I'm totally freestyling this stream right now because I've never used this before. I like your hat. Thanks. Let me hide Nick H now. Let's see what else. I like your hat. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let me hide that. Neato, cool. It is Mike. Get rid of that real quick. Yeah, so I'm just messing around with this, experimenting, and I figured to get people in here, I will talk about. I really want to talk about my last video I uploaded, which kind of bleeds into the discussion about Rwby Volume 9 being filler. So I put out a video saying that Rwby's arc in Volume 9 was fillery, basically. And people took that and just went and took it and said, "Oh, okay, he must be saying that the entire volume is filler." Because that's all I've been hearing, really. They say, "How can you say the whole volume is filler? Blah 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 blah. This happened. First of all, the video is about Rwby, so I'm not sure why you're yelling at me about the volume. I'm talking about Rwby's character arc and Rwby's character arc specifically. And you're over here screaming at me about entire volume. I'm like, it's been all over. Twitter's been annoying. YouTube comments have been weird. Let me try something out real quick. Yes, I just started, by the way. I just started. You are early. You are early. Let's erase that. Hi. Hi to you too, Mina. How's it going? Let me try something out here. Even though the whole volume is filler, let's be real. Well, let's be fair here. What's not filler? If you're invested in the Blake and Yang story, then you want to know why they're in a relationship, then you have to go see The First Kiss, right? So if you care about Blake and Yang, then there's a scene that you can catch on YouTube, right? You don't have to watch the volume. You can watch that scene on YouTube, and you'll get your Bumblebee fix, right? You'll need to know that. Um, if you're curious in Volume 10 as to why John doesn't really care about killing Penny, if you're wondering why he's not affected by that, or why he's not talking about it, or why he's not traumatized by that, then I guess you would have to go back to in Volume 9 and see his arc and see how he accepted Penny and Penny's death, and he accepted Pyrrha's death, and now he's ready to move on and accept it, right? So yeah, those two things. If you care about John, if you care about Bumblebee, you have to go back and see what happened there. But besides that, I mean, I've got people talking about. Matter of fact, let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's try something else here. Washa. Oh, that didn't work. That's super chat. That's not going to help us. Let me go to. So look at this quote by this person, the individual here. Okay. How is this volume 9? How is volume 9 a filler? First of all, once again, this person is quoting the Rwby video. So I'm not sure why he's talking about the entire volume. I'm talking about Rwby's character specifically. But this person, I'm saying he, but let's see. I don't know. Probably a she, honestly, Amy. It's probably a she. Let's see. How is this volume 9 a filler? You can't just go from volume 8 and then to volume 10 and just pretend that volume 9 didn't happen. Not necessarily. Well, not entirely, but once again, like I was saying, I'm talking about Rwby, not the entire volume, but okay. At the end of volume 8, Rwby fell. Okay, she's making the point that they fell at the end of volume 8. So in order to know why they're not, how they got back to Remnant, you have to then watch volume 9. Sure. But how is that relevant to the war against Salem and Osmond? How is that relevant to the overarching narrative? It's not. They came back. Okay, that's all you really need to know. Do you really need to be invested in how they returned? Sure, maybe. But in terms of the overarching narrative, you don't need to know that to know why. To know what's going on within the war between Salem and Osmond, you don't need to know how they got back. But fair enough, right? How did he get back, right? If you care. Why is Blake and Gang kissing a lot? Again, I brought that up. That's fair. If you want to know why they're in a relationship, you want to see the kiss, then yeah, you have to go back and watch that, right? Fair enough. Once again, this person is responding to a Rwby video, not the volume video, but okay. Let's see. Why is John more experienced? Well, once again, you're assuming that they're going to write John as more experienced. We don't know that yet. I have my doubts because I've watched 9 volumes of Rwby. So why is Rwby different? So this is where I'm going to have to like stop this person straight up. Like, what do you mean? Why is Rwby different? She definitely has somewhat changed. She definitely has somewhat changed in the ever after. Like how like, what are you talking about? Like the whole point of the scene, the whole point of the message is Ruby Rose is enough. So if Ruby Rose is enough, that means she doesn't have to change anything. That's the whole point. She wanted to change herself. She wanted to be someone else. But they said the message of the volume was no, Ruby's enough. And now she's back in the saddle, front row, in front of her teammates saying, let's go get him. So I'm not sure how she's changed. You can maybe elaborate in a follow-up tweet. Let's see. Summer and the brothers lore. Again, the brothers lore, how does that matter to the war against Salem? How is that going to affect the overarching narrative? That's more lore, sure. Once again, a lot of the stuff that people bring up that's not filler. Oh, this is not filler. You have to know this. If you notice, a lot of it is finale stuff. So basically what they're saying is you have to watch the finale and you have to know that Blake and Yang kissed and you're all caught up. I'm going to do a short video. I'm going to do a YouTube short on all the information you need to know to catch up in volume 10 and be aware of all the stuff that you had to know. So it's going to be very short because it's going to be like two things: John and Blake and Yang. Let me see what's going on. Let's go over to the YouTube comments. Now here's a more reasonable. I think I remember this comment. Here's a reasonable comment here. This guy using logic says, so basically you are fine with it how they did things, but it was just very rushed. I agree. Ruby becoming Summer Rose temporarily would have been interesting, even though I still prefer the idea of Ruby choosing to be herself over someone else. I agree though that it was too fast. I think originally they planned for 12 episodes, but they had to cut it short, which means which makes it feel a bit meaningless. I was hoping for more physical character change in Rwby. So that's the one thing, right? Rwby is the same. Okay, it's. I don't know how you can argue otherwise. I mean, what have you seen from Rwby? And they had this is the thing. This is the thing. They had every opportunity in the finale to write it so that it's clear that these 5 individuals have changed. All they chose to do was give John some highlights in his hair. That's it. But they could have done more. With this guy, this comment right here is completely reasonable. All right. He likes some stuff. He agrees here. He disagrees there. I mean, this is the kind of comment I like here. Right? Neo should have just been killed off. Really, she has no purpose now. It's interesting. I'm reading comments and I'm also looking at the chat. It's like sometimes you forget which is which. But yeah, it's like, let's see. Let me pull up a comment here. Let's see. Oh man, the fans are just going to call John a groomer. I just know it. No, trust me, they won't. John has been reverted back to being a child, okay? They're not going to care. The writers are not going to care, and the fans are not going to care. They think Tifa greater than Yang. They think that they're going to be invested in John's any difference in John, but they're going to revert back to how he was in Volume 8 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see what else is going on here. Let's go back to Twitter. That's what the funny stuff is. Let's see. Look at these quote tweets. I'm sorry, but I'm never going to take this guy seriously, given he was buddying around people who wish death upon me. What the hell? What? Like when I was 15 years old? What is going on? Like let me get this off my screen. What is happening right now? You should ascend. You should ascend yourself now. These are like the bottom of the barrel Rwby community people. So this person said I was butting up people who wanted he or she dead. And this person said tell me to go ascend myself, all because I think Volume 9 was a filler. Not that I think it was bad, but all because I think that Ruby's character arc was filler. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. Let's keep going. Rwby critics will be Rwby critics and unable to see anything past the surface level. Sir or ma'am, this is Rwby. Like, I don't think this isn't like name a show, okay? This isn't Succession or whatever. This isn't Game of Thrones, okay? This is Rwby. The notion that the writers are like that everything about the show is surface level. It's all surface level, okay? So excuse me. This is fun. Rip your mentions. Actually, it wasn't that bad. Well, I mean, I've been getting constant notifications, but it hasn't been that bad. I've seen worse. We were literally all saying Rwby needed to confront her trauma. And the second she does, y'all call it filler and say she hasn't changed. The issue isn't that she's confronting her trauma. The issue is, I think I responded to this tweet already. The issue is, like, her depression arc starts during volume 9 and ends during volume 9. It doesn't touch the overarching narrative, okay? By the end of the volume, the character appears to be unchanged. That was the entirety of the message. The entirety of the message was, maybe Ruby Rose is enough. I'm gonna choose my own weapon. I'm gonna get back out there and take on the good fight. Now that's fine, but it's kind of bland, it's kind of boring, and it's not interesting. Like they had every opportunity to take steps that would be more interesting and more compelling. Let me put up Bruce here. What's up? Love your stuff, and your opinions are valid. And I am also a big Ruby fan. Well, thank you, Bruce. There's be more people like you. Unfortunately, the entire fandom is not like you. Let's keep going along these quote tweets. Oh, here we go. Here we go. More backstory on Team Stark. Now, this person is making the argument that it's not filler because we got backstory on Team Stark. Again, this scene that he's referring to, which is Ruby talking to Raven, and Summer talking to Raven, and Summer interacting with Ty. So we kind of know that Raven was involved in Summer's disappearance to a certain extent. She knows kind of what happened. She knows the mission. So this person is implying that because we got that information, the entire volume is not filler because of that scene in the finale. But let's keep going. More lore about the gods and remnants. I'm not sure how learning that the gods came from the tree, I'm not sure how that justifies the volume or how that explains that is not filler. Does that knowledge help them defeat Salem? Does that knowledge affect Osmond or the overarching narrative at all? I would say no. Main characters went through visible and mental growth. John's hair is different. Now, if you want to argue that John is now like he's gotten over the death of Pyrrha and Penny, that's fair. I can acknowledge that, okay? But main characters, there's only like the main characters are Team Ruby. Blake got nothing but a kiss from Yang. Yang got nothing but a kiss from Blake. Weiss was just there. She became Nora, and Ruby ultimately chose to be herself, which is fine. But there's no additional change or interesting spin or interesting dynamic. It's just not there, unfortunately. Possible return of antagonist in a new light. Yeah, you might as well just said fuck you, Vexed, okay? Because I don't care about Neo. Neo's not a character, so I don't. Why would I care that the plot device might come back? How is that? Why does that matter? Like, I'm confused. Like, what are you talking about? Thanks, William Bryant. Let me see if I can pull it. Oh, here. Oh, it's awesome. I can see it clearly. Pops up yellow. Awesome. Thank you so much for the super chat. Ruby dropped the ball on Ruby's trauma, as it just says love yourself and all your problems go away. Ruby didn't accept her failures and challenges. She ignores them all. Yeah, I mean, thanks for the super chat, by the way. Yeah, I mean, love yourself is great, and it's a good message for the show and for the kids and people who watch it and for adults and all that. But she's a bad leader. Ruby is a bad leader, and she's had issues leading, and she's made a lot of mistakes. So I'm not sure how. Okay, you're depressed now, but you're good enough. Love yourself, accept yourself. But that doesn't address the things that I want her to develop on. I want her to develop in terms of her leadership, in terms of realizing that she doesn't have it all figured out. Maybe she shouldn't be leading this team. That's the development that I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to show. That's a growth I wanted her to experience. But instead, it's more about, okay, you suck. You're bad at what you're doing, but love yourself anyway. Which, again, I'm not saying she shouldn't love herself, but that's not the development I wanted for the character. That's not going to help her be a better leader. That's not going to help her grow and become someone who is more likely to defeat Salem down the road. just says, your mom said, love yourself. So go ahead and love yourself. I mean, that's all that is. So yeah, I agree with you, William. Good first name, by the way. Thanks for the super chat. What is going on? Oops, made a mistake. Every day I wake up and I miss Sun. Sun? Who the hell cares about that guy? Seriously. You'll see him in volume 10, don't worry. They'll have that whole scene where Sun, Blake, and Yang, well, Sun will find out that Blake and Yang are a couple. It'll be awkward for a few seconds. Or maybe they might just bypass it altogether and say Sun's in a relationship too, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how they handle that. But thanks for the super chat. As someone with multiple suicide attempts, they didn't handle it well, in my opinion. It was far too quick. I don't buy how she found herself so quickly. Wow. Okay. Well, hopefully you're doing better, and hopefully you're in a better place. Appreciate you reaching out. Appreciate the super chat. Far too quick. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was maybe too quick. I understand you're writing a show and you have to do something, have to be snappy. So maybe it being too quick is not so much the issue. Maybe because it felt so weak. Like, what was it? No. Summer says, "I love you just the way you are." She hears that and she's like, "Oh, I guess I'm good now." Like I said in my video before, like if they had a stronger scene, like a big, gripping, emotional scene where maybe she talks to Summer, maybe, then I could buy how that could be, because no one thinks they're going to talk to their dead mom ever again. That's an event. That's a moment. My mom passed away. I can't imagine having a conversation with my mom, for crying out loud. I mean, that would be life changing and life altering for me. So I only imagine what that could do for someone else, having a conversation with their mom who has passed away. So that could have worked, or something else. I don't know. It just felt weak and uninspired, and I don't know. It was just I wasn't a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of it. They could have done better. They could have done better. Let me keep. Oh wait, I didn't even finish this tweet. Wait, this I did. Oh, here you go. Here it is. Time has clearly passed in the outside world. Whether time has passed or not is irrelevant when it comes to this question. This is what I want to ask. How does that prove or disprove that the volume is filler? There's a time jump at the end, therefore it's not filler. That's the point this person's trying to make. I don't get it. What does that have to do with anything? Like, I don't understand. Like, there could be time jumps. There could be time jumps between volumes. Like, there could have been a time jump between volume 9 and volume 10, or volume 8 and volume 9. How does that speak to a volume not being filler? Because at the end they got shot out a certain time ahead. That doesn't speak to anything. Like, I'm confused. So yeah, I disagree with that tweet. Oh wait, I'm seeing uh my man put in another super chat. His super chat. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Oh, this thing is convenient, man. This is like, where this thing been all my life? EV Mux. EV Mux is not. I think I'm saying that right. EV Mux, something like that. Not bad. Hey Vex, can you tell me what main character doesn't have to be a leader? Hey Vex, can you tell me what main character doesn't have to be a leader? What do you mean when you say what main character doesn't have to be a leader? Oh, I think I know what you're saying. I could be wrong, Carrie. I don't know if this question is genuine. If it's not genuine, you basically want me to say Ruby Rose doesn't have to be a leader. I agree. Ruby Rose does not have to be a leader. She doesn't. She does not. Thanks for the super chat. I assume that's where you're going with that. If I'm not, if not, let me know. But I agree with you. Ruro does not have to be a leader. She doesn't. She can do something else. She can go solo and then find her way back to Team Ruby, and that would be kind of an interesting journey. Like, I've been sucking, guys. I can't lead you guys. I'm just a little kid. I'm the youngest of you all. It's too much responsibility. I'm taking a break, and that could work. Again, thanks for the super chat. Kirby has a shallow understanding of heavy topics. Well, when it comes to the White Fang and discrimination, you're damn skippy they do. Like that can't even be debated. Like when it comes to the White Fang, discrimination, stuff like that, they admittedly have struggled and backtracked and pulled it out of the story because they were struggling with that. So I would definitely agree. Is there a heavy topic that they handled well? I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. Let's keep going and see. See, I was right. All right, let's head back to the comments in YouTube. Let's see. Invoking Monty's name. Monty's turning in his grave person. I hate when people bring up Monty. Let that man rest. Stuff hater. What? Okay. Do we know that they ended up in Vacuo and not the past? Yes, we do. And I'll tell you why. We know it was the past. We know it's the future, not the past, because there's a damn antenna on the freaking Amity Coliseum. And that's the antenna that Ironwood had placed on the Amity Coliseum. So we know that it's in the future for sure. How far, we don't know, but it's definitely not in the past because we saw the antenna on Amity Coliseum. That's how we know. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. No question, no comment, just support. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll leave your name up here for a while because of it. Thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what. It's definitely in the future, not in the past. Also, Atlas shipped in the desert. Yeah, someone was trying to say that maybe that could be explained in a way that they were occupying Vacuo in the past at some point, but no, it's definitely in the future. There's a damn antenna on Amity Coliseum. Now, would it have been cool? Would it have been cool if it was in the past? Kind of. Let's say it was during the I think Fat Man brought this up on this Dashy stream. Like, let's say it was during the Vital Festival tournament when it was in Vacuo. They had to explain why it was important to go there, but that would have been kind of cool. At least a spin that I wouldn't see coming. Let's see. So are you guys liking this form? Are you guys liking this setup? How I can like switch between Twitter and YouTube. I can go back to being solo camera like this. Yeah, I'm digging it. I'm definitely liking the whole comments come up. Sure. Happy Mass says sure. It's okay. Seems clean. Yeah. Yeah, once I get this, if I like this thing, I'm going to obviously get this damn watermark removed. And it will be good as golden. It'll probably unlock some other features as well, but we'll see. I like it. Awesome. Good. Rwby needs a better huntsman and hero, not a leader. Liking the split screen? Yeah, I'm liking it too. I like how quickly I can go back and forth, like boop. Wait. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm done. I'm done screwing around. Let's continue down this comment section. So so this is a good trial run. Appreciate you guys coming in here and helping me figure out if this is the route I want to go, and for providing your comments and super chats. Awesome. Rwby Rose was no leader. Well, I agree that she's a bad one, but the show and the characters within the show would insist on her leading, which is an interesting choice. I don't know why. John said the truth in episode 7, which is probably the best chapter of the volume, when she said, "Yeah, it was your plan, and you screwed up. You know, you need to take some responsibility here." And I agree with them. For crying out loud. Let's see what's going on here. Literally not filler. People have just changed what the word filler means. It's been happening a lot with shows recently, and it's very tiresome to see. Well, I'm sorry, okay? This arc is exactly what filler is. I agree. Joke. I'm kidding around here, guys. But yeah, it was filler. It might be her arc. I'm talking about her arc, not the entire volume. There's stuff in there that you may need to know, but her arc, I feel, can be skipped. You won't miss a beat. And you won't miss a beat. Let me put this back up there. Start this. I'll show this for now. You won't miss a beat. Let's go to something else here. I got attacked so badly when I said it was a filler arc. Sorry to hear that. But it was not saying it's a bad volume, but it was filler with foreshadowing of canon storylines in it. People shouldn't be attacked for their opinion. If you're just giving your opinion, then it shouldn't be a problem. I don't know why people are so upset and yelling and having a bad attitude about simple opinions. I didn't even say the volume was bad. I didn't even say her arc was bad. I just said it was filler. That's it. Calm down, folks. Calm down. Thank you again, William Bryant. Thank you. Rwby has always been bad at handling tough subject matters. Volume 8 really pushed me out of the series with its anti-military story, which is throughout the entire volume, as myself being a service member. Yeah. Thanks for super chat, my guy. So what was it exactly that I'm trying to remember? Volume 8. They definitely painted Atlas and the military as bad folks, right? They definitely did that from the jump in Volume 7. They were positioning Ironwood. They didn't even get Ironwood right. They didn't even get it right in the Volume 7. They wanted it to seem like Ironwood was going down this dark path, when in reality he was more right than the Team Rwby was. To me, at least, he was making more sense than Team Rwby. And they had to and they realized at the end of Volume 7 that the story they were telling wasn't good enough, because they wanted Ironwood to be the villain. So they had to really drive it home and make Ironwood look like this militant general who's freaking out to he's just the crazy cartoon villain. And the military did kind of get wrapped into that. So I understand what you're saying, for sure. I thought Ironwood was the best character in Volume 7. I thought he was great. But it turns out, I believe, they accidentally wrote an interesting character. That's my takeaway. Let's see. What else can we talk about here? Was there anything else that happened on Twitter? There's stuff going on right now. Let's see. Let's see. Hopefully nothing pops up bad. Um, I wish they mentioned Blake killing Adam because he was also Faunus. And that was a big part of her character. What are we talking about here? This is in regard to my video. I just wanted everyone's mistakes in the previous volume to be mentioned, like Yang trusting Robin for no reason. Yeah, you weren't going to get that, unfortunately. That wasn't going to happen for you. Yeah. They made a lot of mistakes, but no one actually wants to call them out on it. Rwby, I'm surprised that Rwby even like got upset and got based on what we got in this series. Like, I'm surprised that Rwby even had any type of depression arc. But I think in volume 8, she had some like reservations. She said that my plan didn't work, but then Yang hugged her, and she got over it really quickly once she realized that. What was the message she got that volume? A risk, was it? Wasn't it that what it was? Like a risk. Like that was the message of that volume. Like, um, trust is a risk, right? And you have to take a risk in this show. Like, everything's not a sure thing. It has to be a risk. It was really weird. I have to go rewatch that. Maybe I hate volume 8. Maybe I have to go rewatch that to understand what the hell was going on there. But they're talking about it being trust was a risk. Yeah, there it was. Thanks, Calvin. Trust is a risk. Yeah. Like, what? Like, I don't. That whole thing was weird. Like, I don't. I still don't understand what they were going for with that. Trust is a risk. Trust is a gamble. Trust is a risk. Yeah. Was that the last hug? Let's see what else is going on here. Michael's upset. Just gonna leave this here. The idea that Volume 9 was filler is just weak sauce, man. Media literacy for writers. Terrible writing advice. People get so upset on Twitter. Can you imagine like being that upset about someone not liking something or someone calling something filler? Like, who cares? Just like that should roll right off your back. Like, why do you care so much that someone doesn't like something, or someone is critical of something, or someone has a question that they may try to raise? Like, I don't understand why you're so upset. Biggest issue is how Volume 9 Rwby bled into Justice League Rwby movie. The biggest issue is how Volume 9 Rwby bled into the Justice League Rwby movie. What are you talking about there? I don't know that. I don't understand that one. Yeah, Twitter is a cesspool, man. It's a place where people go to bitch and moan, myself included. The Rwby haters list. What is going on? What is this? I'm always amazed how the Rwby fandom is the most thin-skinned babies. Critter is on one. Half of the people on this list only spoke about it once or don't even talk about the show anymore. Rwby fans be normal and not creepy, obsessed with the cartoon challenge. Impossible. This is hilarious. What Rwby critics, Rwby hater list, memeing. Oh, so this is happening on the Rwby critics Reddit page. Severely toxic, absolutely toxic, beyond toxic, completely toxic, definitely toxic. What is going on Reddit, man? Reddit is like the worst. I hate Reddit sometimes. I like Reddit to find information, but when it comes to like interacting and commenting and posting, Reddit is terrible. Just as bad as Twitter, honestly. Just as bad. Just as. I'm trying to get center here. Just as bad. What else is going on here? Let me go back to. Let me go back to comments. YouTube comments. Wasn't the whole point of Volume 9 about Ruby conquering her inner demons? At least that's what I took away from it. I personally love the volume a lot, especially Ruby's breakdown in episode 7. Why nitpick the small things? Well, first of all, I absolutely agree with you. I do love the breakdown in episode 8, 7. I mean, I actually think chapter 7 is probably the best chapter in the entire volume. So we agree there. I like that breakdown as well. Um, conquering her inner demons. Sure. That was the her arc was the main focus of the volume. My point is, it starts in the volume, it ends in a volume, and ultimately she's not carrying anything into volume. No, if Ruby's depression arc would have started in volume 8, this volume would feel a lot better in terms of filler, not filler. If her arc of depression started in volume 8 and then carried into volume 9, and then it was resolved in volume 9, this volume would feel less like filler. The problem is she fell into the ever after. Her depression arc started then, and it ended in the same isolated volume away from the overarching narrative. Had she started feeling this depression before volume 9 and it carried into volume 9, then this volume would feel differently in terms of filler, not filler. Does that make sense? And why nitpick? Well, what you consider nitpick may be someone's very serious, important issue, you know? So, like, just depends. Everybody's different, you know? Everything is not nitpicking. Some things may be some things are nitpicking, but not something like this. Not me discussing whether something is filler or not. That's not nitpicking. It's not even saying it's bad. I'm just saying it was kind of filler. That's all. That is all, man. Let's keep going. Toby's disappointed. They already made a joke of Yang's trauma by characterizing it with maybe 5% of what trauma is, and then suddenly she's okay when Adam died. Oh, that's like going all the way back to freaking volume 6. Oh, well, this one's about Tai Yang. It's disappointing what they're doing with Tai Yang. They're making it seem like out of team. They're making it seem like out of Team Stark, he's the only one that was clueless about the stuff with Salem. I never even thought about that. Is Ty out of the loop? I don't think he is, but he is kind of the one who's always sitting at home, right? But he's the responsible parent, unlike freaking Summer. So he was there for his kids, whereas Summer left to go with Raven and lied about it to God knows where, you know. So I don't know. I don't know how you write him not being there, because if he's not there, then who the hell's watching the kids, right? See what you guys saying in the chat. Ty just nuts in people. Oh my goodness. Well, two people, we know that. Two people for sure. That brings up a good point. Why is Ty sitting on the sidelines? Well, he has to watch the kids. If he doesn't, then like who's gonna raise the kids? That's how Yang and Ruby almost died the first time, right? They went wandering out into the woods and they got saved by Crow because they were not being supervised. So oh, is Bernie still voicing the character? That's a good question. I don't know. Is he still voicing the character? I have no idea. Will we ever see Zwei again? Who cares about that damn dog? Screws Y and everything that comes with him. Yeah, but like I don't know. Probably we'll see him again when they go back to when they head back to the freaking beacon. Jesus, I cannot remember. Or Vale. When they go back to Vale. I'm sorry, man. I still love Neo. She may be a plot device, but she's my plot device. Damn it, I can't argue with you there. If you love Neo, I'm not mad at people liking Neo. Like love Neo, but you know, I'm just gonna be honest about it. She's a plot device. Let's see here. So I think this thing has gone well. The EV Mux has gone well. Flash Newsflash, Vex hates dogs. No, I like dogs. I just don't care about Zwei in this damn show. Yeah, but I like dogs. Let's head back to Twitter real quick. Let's look at the responses to that. Let's look at some of the responses to this tweet. Oh wait, you can't even see the screen. Here we go. I'm starting to get why Rwby has such a bad reputation. No one watches it. No one who watches it is media illiterate. Yeah, that's the problem. There are filler episodes inside filler season. It was like the words. It's like the world's most mediocre cake, layers upon layers of filler. So most people in my replies agree with me, obviously, because they follow me, and most of them will agree with my takes for the most part. Let's see. Dragon Panther. Yeah, I think I already read this. Let's see. People were like having long debates in my mentions about this. You need help. I keep feeling like I'm gonna scroll and see something I'm not supposed to show on YouTube. Cause Twitter be doing that sometimes. This one's hilarious, man. This is hilarious. You should ascend yourself now. Trust the risk, Vexed. Neo goes crazy. Memes are the best. Look, this person wrote an entire essay. I'm lost. Whoa. I respect your guts criticism where they're due. Guts. I don't know how I read that. It's guts. I respect your guys' criticism where they're due. There was a lot of stupid going on during everyone's time in Alice, but this time I just don't. But this time it just doesn't seem it. Well, I guess the person disagrees, but this is a long comment, folks. It's long. It's long. No one's going to sit there and read that entire comment. It's not going to happen. Let me hit let me hit let me refresh. No, nothing new here. Leave a comment, not a thesis. Yeah, exactly. I prefer chibi Neo than actual Neo. I love it when people try to defend the show with easy explaining why you're wrong. With the essay, right? It's easy. Yeah, man. It's like no one's trying to read that entire thing, man. It's not going to happen. Just not. Let me see. Let me get back. Get me back out of this. Uh, let's go to comments. Now we have all the comments here. Are you saying? Wait, back up. Are you saying it's okay for him to lose like 30 years of his life that's meant to be lived in remnants? Maybe give him a change. Maybe give him a change in his appearance that reminds him of what happened in Ever After, but don't cut off his lifespan or cut down. Don't cut don't cut his lifespan down. John also didn't mature into a proper adult. He's still a young adult mentally, like the rest of the group. If physically he was an adult, but he acts like himself as an older teen, it'd be either very jarring or just plain annoying. So what is this person trying to say? You're trying to say he doesn't want John to look. Okay, here's the thing about John. Okay, John is a very boring character. That's the problem. So I thought they were taking an interesting approach and a courageous approach by aging him up and then potentially carrying him into Remnant that way, and that would have been interesting. That would have been more dynamic. That would have been it just would have been more compelling. But he's back as he was before with the highlight in his hair. And I'm supposed to believe that these writers are going to write him differently. I don't buy it. They're going to write him the same as they did in Volume 8. That's all. Yeah, I don't understand what the person's getting at with it. John hasn't matured into a proper adult. Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. I don't understand. Yes, I already read all this. I can go to maybe. Uh, yeah. So the criticism to my video, I thought it was pretty funny, especially considering I was only talking about Ruby and not the entire volume. But whatever. Let's see. Let's throw some comments up here. Volume 9 is definitely a filler volume of Ruby. And if it wasn't for the based and uh, he's being saved by the memes. The show is being saved by the memes. Oh my goodness gracious, man. Wait. Oh man. I'm hella lost here. Someone fill me in. This is a random ass, no objective, no rhyme or reason stream. I was experimenting with this new streaming surface browser called EV and I decided to start a stream. And I kind of just been talking about comments in regard to Ruby's character arc being filler, and I have kind of like there's no structure to this at all. Absolutely no structure to this. So I'm kind of just looking through my comments on YouTube and looking through tweets and looking at the chat basically. So there's no structure to this whatsoever. Absolutely none. Yep, that's what it is. Twitter and comment surfing basically. Next time I'll have an actual objective. Let's see. Getting back to this Rwby hater tier list here that I'm on, as you can see. The fan base will harass people and tell them to stop talking about the show. And then when they do move on and talk about other things, the fan base will still insist on bringing up them to continue bitch about them. They've moved on. Why can't the Rwby fanatics? Oh, they remembered me. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm hardly on Rwby Critics Reddit page, so I don't know what's the posting over there. I have no idea what goes on over there. Let's see if the quotes were reasonable and not people shitting on poor. The fact that Eruption Fang is there is actually pathetic. Rwby fans can be actual babies. Rwby might be the only, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but Rwby might be the only fan base where this kind of stuff happens, where there's like a tier list of haters. Like the haters are like the haters, quote unquote, are like grouped together and they're talked about as a part of the show in a way. Like they're an entity among the show. And it's weird. Like it's so weird. Tom has something to say here. I know of Clownfish TV. They really talk about Rwby that much? Do they really talk about Rwby that much? I have a hard time believing that they're talking about Rwby a lot. I refuse. I don't buy that. Don't buy it at all. Those guys bitch about a lot of stuff. I have a hard time believing that they have a focus of Rwby. I don't believe it at all. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on here. Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it one bit. Bruce has something to say. Vexed, I'm often reminded of how hateful the Rwby fandom are, and are in fact the haters. Yeah, they most Rwby fans. So let's be clear about something. Like I'm sure you guys know this, but Twitter and Reddit is not real life, right? It's not real life. The average Rwby fan watches Rwby every year, and then go about their day and go about their life, right? They're not on Twitter bitching and complaining about critics, right? The average Rwby fan is completely fine. It's the loud minority of folks who are on Twitter and Reddit. These are a small group of folks, but they're annoying. And so sometimes we think that the entire Rwby fandom is one way because of the internet. Really, it's like a small, minuscule amount of fans. Like maybe 2% of like the average Rwby fan is online bitching about shit, you know? And they're the ones that the Rwby listens to, yes, because they're the vocal folk online, which is unfortunate because they should know they live on the internet. So Rooster Teeth should know that these folks are not real life. Like Twitter comments and Reddit comments, they're not real life. You should ignore it completely. Let me give you an example. I'm sure you guys know this, but I'll give you an example nonetheless. Professional wrestling, okay, WWE, AEW, professional wrestling. There is a very passionate and aggressive and opinionated online fan base that follow and watch professional wrestling. They call it the IWC, Internet Wrestling Community. Now, these folks bitch, complain, and moan about everything. And they think because they live in an echo chamber online and everybody else is chatting about and complaining. They think that what happens online and the sentiments and the opinions online govern, and everybody agrees with that. And they're shocked when they turn on their TV and see the very people that they're complaining about getting cheered crazy. Oh, we love it, we love it, because Twitter and Reddit is not real life. You guys can complain and bitch all day, all night online, but it's never going to be reflective of what you see in the real life, in the live crowd. The same people that you complain about will get cheered all day long in the live crowd. It just doesn't translate, and people don't realize that. Well, I appreciate the support. I do. Brandy, I appreciate that. Let's see. People like, yes, like JD. You're familiar with the internet wrestling community, aren't you? Yeah, people like him. He complains and he moans, and he has a lot of people that agree with him, and they think that their opinion is what everyone feels. Oh, this person getting pushed. The push is too long. It's too hard. Like everyone's tired of it. Everyone is tired of it. And then you turn on the TV, and it's the exact opposite. Everybody loves it because you live in an echo chamber that's not real life. It just doesn't translate. Like people, they watch their content, they go to sleep, they turn on Netflix, they have a job, they have lives, they're not online complaining on Twitter. So you'll never get a fair representation of what's going on by looking online. But it can have online activity can have a very strong and powerful impact on creators. So somebody will turn on Twitter, oh my God, everybody hates this idea, or everybody hates my writing, or everybody hates my direction. When in reality, most people don't, but you're listening to like the 2% of people online. That's how it always is. Do I watch Stardom? No, because I have to be up late, one. And two, I don't watch Stardom. Very talented wrestlers over there. Probably the best. Some of the best wrestlers in the world are in Stardom. Very talented wrestlers. We saw how Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, was over there wrestling recently. She killed it. They killed it. They're fast. They move very fast. Very talented. But no, I don't follow Stardom, unfortunately. I know some of them. Some of those wrestlers over there. Some of them are very talented. Very talented women over there. But I don't follow it very closely, unfortunately. Now, if people want me to start talking about wrestling on here, I can do that and do it very well, better than most, honestly. Because a lot of the takes you see online are bullshit. Like when it comes to professional wrestling, the storylines are very easy to predict. Yet people seem to be so confused when what's happening? Why is this happening? Like, guys, it's obvious what's happening. The direction, like storytelling within wrestling is very direct and it's obvious. Like you can see what's going to come. You can see what's going to happen, and that's fine as long as it's executed well and it's good. That's fine. But you can see what's coming. You can predict it. But people seem to be so confused and taken aback when things happen. Oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Like, how did you not see that coming? It was obvious. Have I watched Fixing Rwby? I've seen some of why is the person's name Raymond's videos? I completely blanked on his name for no reason. I completely blanked on his name. I've seen some of his videos, but not all of it. Is that predictable? Well, not. We're still talking about professional wrestling. It's predictable in the sense that I'm not saying all of it is predictable, but most of it you can kind of see where it's going, kind of thing. You can see where it's going for the most part. If they started allowing people to bet on professional wrestling, I would make a lot of money because I get most of it right. What I think is going to happen pretty much happens, and it's not bad. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with knowing that the hero is going to win in the end of the movie. Right? Most of the time, the bad guy loses and the good guy wins at the end of the movie. Doesn't make it bad that it's predictable. It's about the journey. It's about the story. It's about the interactions and the events that lead up to the moment. But just because you know the destination doesn't mean it's bad. But yeah, it can be predictable sometimes. It can. What's up? How you doing? Yeah, I stopped watching wrestling for like a good 10 years, but I got back into it because of one wrestler. One wrestler got me back into it. Her story got me back into wrestling. It's amazing. I stopped watching for like 10 years. This cold stopped watching. Did not care about it, did not watch it at all. Then I was on Twitter and something was trending. And I clicked on it and said, what the hell is this? Like, what's going on? And that person was at the heart of that trend. And I started going down the YouTube rabbit hole, said, what's going on here? What's happening here? And next you know, I was hooked on it again. Um, so that's just how it is. It's amazing what can get you back into something. Predictable storytelling. Predictable storytelling isn't always a bad thing, especially if it's executed well. Agreed. Viewers like to feel smart, so if they can predict story beats, it makes them feel good. Yeah, exactly. I've given plenty of fist pumps when I've predicted something. People love predicting storylines and getting it right. They love it, and nothing wrong with that. Yeah, nobody likes when it subverts expectation. Um, Subverting expectations has become popular ever since the Last Jedi of Star Wars, right? That term, or those that subverting expectations has become very popular in pop culture ever since the Last Jedi. And people did not like the subverting of expectations in that movie. I think it can be fine as long as it's subverting in a way that's interesting and not like giving you the middle finger as the viewer. Like, oh, you thought this was going to happen? Psych. Like, no. It's if you're going from A to B, don't go to C just for the hell of it. If it's interesting, if it makes sense, if it's like compelling, then go to C, then go back to B, whatever. But subverting just for the sake of subverting is bad. Like, if you have an interesting story to tell, you have something that you want to accomplish with the subverting, then go ahead subvert. But just know, if you're leading your audience down the road, you can jump into a different lane. You can go in a different lane, but don't veer off the road completely or take like a random ass exit. You're going to throw your audience off by doing that. It's all in the execution. It is all in the execution. The fact that people are insulting you for calling Volume 9 filler just proves Critter's points in the fan base. Oh, it jumped off. My bad. Fan base are babies. Yeah, there's a lot of fragile folks within the Rwby community, unfortunately. Subverting is not a magic fix for bad writing. Agreed. Agreed. Don't set up that the butler did it only for the yeah, exactly. Exactly, Mike. Don't set it up that the butler did it just from the last second. Oh no, sorry, it was the chef. Unless the breadcrumbs were there the whole time. If it was there the whole time, you just didn't see it, then fine. But yeah, don't subvert just for the sake of subverting. That's annoying. Do I watch any anime besides Rwby? I am behind on a lot. I recently watched Chainsaw Man. That's what it's called. Is that what it's called? Chainsaw Man. Yeah, I recently watched Chainsaw Man. It was good. I think at first I'm like, why do people like this show? And then around like the chapter around episode 7 or 8, I really liked it. Like, oh, this is why people like this show. Okay, I'm liking it now. But at first I'm like, it's fun. It's all right. But there's an episode that happens within season 1 where I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm hooked. Now I'm in it. I forget what episode it was though. If you've watched the anime, something happens where people are getting shot. Okay, And that's the episode where that really like hooked me into it. Because at first I was kind of just watching it, like, all right, let's get through it. Okay, this is fun to watch. All right. Then when that episode hits, I'm really like, I got zoned in. All right. I sat up straight. That episode made me sit up straight. I'm like, all right, this is good. I'm liking it. I think it's episode 8. I think it was episode 8. Yeah, 8. Okay. 8. It was 8. I liked that episode. And after that, I was hooked into the show after that. But I'm behind on a lot. I'm behind on not only am I behind on anime, I'm behind on television, I'm behind on movies, I'm behind on life. Unfortunately. Oh, this is a nice comment here. Let's go back to Yes, because healing emotional trauma in order to forward the plot is considered non-central to the main plot of the show. Volume 9 can't be filler by definition because the filler is a byproduct of adapting a written source material. Rwby is the source material. I can't keep explaining this. So I'm like the issue is this person. I can't respond to this person, right? This person not here. The issue is that you can skip volume 9 and not miss a beat. When it comes to Rwby's character, you can skip the volume and not miss a beat. There's nothing you have to see in order to go from volume 8 to volume 10. Everything happens in this isolated volume, and there's no carryover, there's no difference, there's no change that is meaningful for the character going forward. So the experience of the ever after got her, it changed her in the sense that it got her to be depressed. It made her depressed. It changed her back to being not depressed before entering back into remnants. So that's the problem. If there's a problem with it being filler, that's the problem. There's no, you can skip it. Now, if volume 8 is where the depression arc started, then this would be better. This be better point. There'd be a better point here if it started in volume 8 and then carried it into volume 9, but that's not what happened. So she was okay. Here's a point here. Let me pull this up. She was already showing signs of depression in volume 8. Was that after the whole trust is a risk? Was that before she said she forgot that Cinder was in the show? Are we talking about? Let's see. Are you talking about when she was crying with Yang because she? So this is my understanding. She was sad in that chapter. I think I know what you're talking about. She was sad in that chapter because Summer Rose might have been killed by Salem and turned into one of those grim monsters. And she thought that because Summer Rose was a silver-eyed warrior, that the same fate happened to Summer that happened to the other silver-eyed warrior. So she was sad about that. Let's see. She was sad that her plan didn't work, right? But then they had the whole scene where she bounced back from that when the whole trust is a risk thing, right? And she was uplifted. So that's the thing. That problem or that sadness she had was addressed by the talk about trust being a risk. Remember? And then she moved. Yeah, then she moved on. It wasn't a consistent thing. She was back to being all right. Let's go get them, guys. I got a plan. Let's go. It was. There's no like consistency with that. If she was saddened and depressed from that moment all the way into the finale of volume 8, then sure. That's not what happened. She was sad. She cried. She was upset. They moved on quickly, like they always do. She was back in the saddle. She's ready to go. And then the finale of Volume 8 happened. She fell. And then she got depressed because why? Like, what was different about this in comparison to other? See, when it comes to analyzing these characters, you want to dive into why it's happening now, right? Like, why is it happening now? Why is this story being told now? Why is Rwby depressed now? Like compared to after Volume 3, when Penny died and the damn all the beacon fell, right? You had Volume 5 when Weiss got stabbed, right? And Volume 6 Volume 6 with the whole the Grim, the apathy Grim, right? You had Volume 7 where she at the damn what's the name? What do you want? What do we want to call it? What's the actress? What's that character? The only Robin. She was at Robin's election party, and a whole bunch of people died while she was there, and she could have saved them. She's a huntress, and all these people died in her presence, right? What was it about this that made her depressed? So we can dive into that, but it's not worth anyone's time. The reason why it's happening now is because reasons. This is the volume that they decided to do it. That's as simple as that. There's no point of diving into why Rwby is depressed now in terms of the story, in terms of her character arc and her progression as a character. It's important. It's irrelevant. It's happening now because reasons. This is it just so happens to be the volume that they want to address Rwby's character arc, and that's it. They wanted to give her the breakdown now, and that's why it's happening now. Simple as that. So I got the larger point I was making. I don't remember. How'd I get? Because Robin threw me off. Like, what was the larger point I was making in regard to the reason why it's happening now as opposed to not another time? It was simply because this just so happened to be the time they wanted to do it. Okay. And yeah, I forgot the larger point I was making. I went on a tangent and forgot. She's depressed because of reasons. Well, supposedly she's depressed because she fell and her plan didn't work. I guess she lost the relic and she lost the penny, but they don't really dive into her specific reasons why she's depressed. We're just supposed to assume because of the events of Volume 8, but she's been through a lot of shit, and it just happened to be the time that what they wanted to do it, so they did it. That's all. No point of diving into why it happened now. It happened now because of reasons. It should have happened before. It should have happened long before. Back in Volume 9, I started to ask in Discord, do you think Volume 9 is filler? Note the question mark. I got jumped on for it. That's not surprising. Unfortunately, that's not surprising. That's how the Rwby fandom is. There's no discussion that happens. Like, the writers can do no wrong. Everything's perfect. You have a problem with that, then go fuck yourself. That's basically the message of the Rwby fandom. She lost Penny, lost Atlas, they lost the relics, and her own team didn't see she was struggling. Okay. So definitely Penny's loss was a part of her depression. Losing Atlas wasn't so much because they had already abandoned Atlas. They were taking everyone from Atlas to Vacuo, so they were basically abandoning all of Atlas. We lost the relics for sure because of her own dumb plan. Apparently, according to John, it was her plan. So yeah, and her own team didn't see she was struggling, which is very frustrating as a viewer. If the entire audience can see that the main character is struggling, but no one else can, and the characters are supposed to be close to her, and they're supposed to know her better than the audience, and they can't tell that she's struggling. It can be a very frustrating watch, and it's hard to buy that Yang, Weiss, and Blake, none of them can see that Rwby is depressed, but the audience can tell clearly. Like the audience can tell that Rwby is suffering, but her teammates can't. I don't like it. It's very frustrating. Like they should see what we should see. Now, if they say, Rwby, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And she ignores them, that's one thing. But they hardly even bothered to see what was up with her when the audience can clearly see that she was suffering. So I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Okay, I'll go on for another 10 minutes and then I'll wrap up the stream. I went longer than I thought it was gonna go. This has been an hour and 20 minutes. I'll go into an hour and 30. What's your favorite Pokemon game? I'm not a big Pokemon fan, unfortunately. I don't remember. I don't have one. Okay, I like Little now. Why do you like Little now? I did not finish Ice Kingdom. Darth Villain, Darth Titan. I did not finish Ice Kingdom, so I don't know how it ends. I think I watched the first 6 episodes, and that's it. I did not finish that show at all. I got bored. I realized that I was forcing myself to watch it, and once I realized that I was forcing myself to watch it, I stopped. Never force yourself to watch something you don't want to watch, because it felt like I was just forcing it. So like why am I watching this? You don't want to watch it clearly, so why bother? So I stopped. So I have no idea what happens in Ice Kingdom at all. Was that show? Was it good? Was it a good show? Did you enjoy Ice Kingdom? Do you guys like that show? Ice Kingdom has some good music tracks though, so I'm happy for those. It was decent, yes. I enjoyed Ice Kingdom. Okay, so it was good. I can see. Okay. Very bad pacing. I did not watch it. Yes. I liked Ice Kingdom. Vexed, I prefer it over the main show. I can understand that. I enjoyed the beginning and the end. Okay. It was shit. Okay, JJ. It's okay for what it was. Not too good, but not bad either. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. Let's go back to. Let's see. Any more comments came in? Any new comments worth talking about? I don't think so. No. Oh, here's one. Here's one. I love how. Wait. Let me move this. I love how every video you post is nothing but criticism and disdain. Not knocking it, but why not cover something you I don't know enjoy? I stopped watching after Volume 5. Actually, within those videos, if you actually watch those videos, I give credit and praise in those videos all the time. It so happens that it leans negative because I'm constantly being frustrated. But what I'm going to do is I do plan on reviewing and uploading different content, especially now that Rwby is in it's on the back burner here. We don't know when volume 10 is happening. So I will be uploading content about a different type of content. So we'll see how that goes. My last video, which was about the finale of The Mandalorian, that was positive, and people had a problem with that. So here's the thing: if you're positive, people have a problem with you being positive sometimes, and when you're negative, people have a problem with you being negative. It just depends on like the audience, right? I thought the finale of The Mandalorian was serviceable and solid based on what we got this season. The season I was disappointed with, and I said that in the video. I said in the video that the season I was disappointed with, but based on the season, the finale worked, and people did not like that because people wanted me to shit on the season of Mandalorian, but I wasn't talking about the Mandalorian. I was talking about the finale. If I was talking about the entire season, then I would have more criticism. But the finale worked fine for what we got, which is what I was trying to explain in that video. People were trying to say, "No, look at this chapter. Oh, the chapter. No, that last episode was bad. The season was bad. Blah 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 blah." I'm not talking about the season. I was talking about the finale and the finale alone. Andor was great. Andor was arguably the best written Star Wars ever. Better than the original trilogy. Better than the only thing that there's Andor. There's Andor, and then there's Filoni's Star Wars. And those two are at the top for me. You have Andor's writing and Dave Filoni's writing in the Clone Wars and things of that nature. I think I still prefer Dave Filoni's because I like the magic that he brings in Star Wars. I like the vibe and how he touches on the thing that makes Star Wars special, like the mystique, the magic, the force, the way he embraces that, and I like Dave Filoni's storytelling better than Andor probably, but those two are like neck and neck. Like Andor versus Filoni's writing, I like, which is why Ahsoka is my most anticipated by far Star Wars show. Not even Star Wars show. My most anticipated show in general. I'm looking forward to Ahsoka more than anything, period, coming out television-wise, because Dave Filoni is writing it, he's directing, it's his vision, it's his story, and it's his characters that he brought in from the Rebels show and Ahsoka, obviously, which is his baby. And that's my favorite character as well. So yeah, Andor is great show. Was it slow in some points? Yes, but overall it was great. Best written Star Wars up to date, I think, especially live action. Definitely live action. Best live action Star Wars, period. I think Dave Filoni's stuff he's done in Clone Wars and like Tale of the Jedi, stuff like that, I like a lot. And I think I still prefer that to even Andor. So I'm hoping that Ahsoka is where it's at. What the? Light just turned off for no reason. We got a couple more minutes in here, and then I'm out. Filoni really only did Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. Wait. I think I mixed up two comments there. Filoni really only did Clone Wars. He also did Rebels. He did the Clone Wars animated show, and he did the Rebels animated show. That's why he's bringing in all his characters like Hera, Sabine, bringing in Ahsoka, bringing in Ezra and Thrawn. They're all coming in from Rebels show into Ahsoka. Basically, Ahsoka is season 5 of the animated series Rebels. So if you want to know what's happening in Ahsoka, I strongly suggest you binge watch. You can skip the filler episodes. There's guides online. If you go on Reddit, you can find guides to skip episodes. If you really don't want to see the filler, speaking of filler, if you want to skip the filler episodes of Rebels, you can do that. But you need to know what happened to Rebels, because Rebels will kick off the Ahsoka show, basically. So live action Ahsoka is basically season 5 of Rebels animated show. He only did well with Clone Wars, Vexed. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I thought they're Did you watch all of Rebels? Season 4 was good. There was some good stuff. Season 1 is kind of rough, but once you get into season 2, 3, 4, it's fine. I still prefer Clone Wars. Clone Wars is better for me, but season 4 of Rebels has some good stuff in there. There's some really good stuff. And if you want to watch Ahsoka, you need to watch the Rebels show for sure. I'll just try to watch all of Rebels to get the whole thing. Yeah, you got to watch it. Yeah, might as well just watch the whole thing. Yeah, watch all the filler episodes. Yeah, if you got the time. some of it can be kind of boring and stale, but the episodes that are integral to the story, they're good. It's good. Ultimately, I still prefer Clone Wars, but Rebels is a good show, and you have to watch it to get the best out of Ahsoka. Like you can probably watch Ahsoka without watching it, but if you want, I like to have the best experience. Give yourself the best experience you can have. Okay, if you want to get all the references and get tied into all the characters and have the backstory already, then watch Rebels. You'll enjoy the show more that way. Simple as that. Yeah, you got here late, Proxy Dog. Next time I will call out the stream. I'll schedule the stream earlier in advance. So I'll say it now. Next Sunday, I will stream for sure. Next Sunday, I will stream for sure. So I'll tell you that now. And then at some point, I will schedule it out there so you'll see it. But I'm telling you now, those who are listening, the 135 who are still on, thank you so much. I will schedule a stream for Sunday again for sure next week. All right. Okay, so I am about to drop out now, guys. Thank you so much for helping me to figure out if EV Mux is worth a damn. I enjoyed it. It was cool. I like being able to pull up comments like this. So it's either going to be EV Mux or StreamYards. We'll see. Bye, cool dude. We'll see which one I go with. But next time you see me, I probably will not, regardless of which one I go with, the next time you see me, I will not have this big ass powered by EV Mux sign up here. That'll be gone. But thank you guys for hanging out. And I will talk to you guys later or on freaking Twitter, like right now. See you guys. Peace out. Appreciate you. And live long and prosper.